Welcome back to the F123 driver career. It is the Singapore Grand Prix today with indifferent weather. We don't yet know, because I didn't get the full message, how much rain there is going to be, nor how long it may last. But 62 laps of the Singapore Grand Prix lies ahead of us on the back of another decent result, P5 at Monza, which we worked particularly hard for and got very lucky with as well, but it shoots us up to kind of best of the bottom few. Fernando Alonso has more than twice our points. We have about twice as many points as Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon, and more than twice our teammate Valtteri Bottas, but he got a great P6 in Monza as well. He scored points in the Netherlands too. We're thinking about next season, about where we might end up for Season 2, but at the moment we need to concentrate on what's happening in Season 1, because the Singapore Grand Prix is not going to be easy, especially in inclement weather. The R&D progress, we're improving, but others are improving at a slightly quicker rate at the moment. We've got a couple of things in development, some not ready until Qatar. I don't know if maybe the major aero upgrade will be done before Suzuka. We shall find out as time progresses, but right now it's time to head to practice for Singapore, and we'll be able to tell once we get to the track what the weather is going to be like for the race as well. So I might splice that in with a little bit of editing as well. But right now we have ourselves an intriguing, tricky, difficult weekend ahead, but points are a possibility always for us right now, and we hope to challenge for them again. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of the edited highlights, of course, and join me live to watch all of the behind the scenes and the full sessions in their entirety on twitch.tv/ChesnoidGaming or the Chesnoid Live YouTube channel, which will be linked in the description down below. To practice. Alright, weather. Quali. Q1 starts damp, but then a lot of rain. Q2 is... Okay, so qualifying as a whole just has the same thing, so... Might be dry at the beginning of Q1, but it will definitely be wet for the rest of qualifying. Significantly so, as you can see that it just gets heavier as time goes on. In the race then, the race will start dry. That's good news. Please don't let the rain come too heavily too quickly. 11% rain after 15 minutes. So we start dry, then the rain comes. Does it dry up again? It will be close to a 2-hour Grand Prix. So we need to go past the 60-minute mark, but certainly the rain is going to come, and quite heavily so as well. After the 60-minute mark, it then... Well, 94% chance of rain there, it says, but actually the symbol is the moon. Start dry and then just wet for the rest, I think, by the looks of things. Oh! No! Bog standard resource point haul, as we would expect from us and Valtteri. Not a massive amount available to us. Not massive amount available to us in terms of upgrades that are available as well. We've got 1,700 resource points at the moment. And with wheel rims done, we could do drag reduction, which might help. Could do, that's 1,000 there. Chassis-wise, we don't want to do anything else tyre wear-wise for fear of breaking the gameplay. Energy cell. No, I don't want to do weight reduction. Drag reduction is probably the way forward, I think. So let's do drag reduction. Front end plates, drag reduction. That will be ready for Singapore. Not Singapore. We're in Singapore. That will be ready for Qatar, which is good news. Engine power could definitely help. We got nearly a 50% or over a 50% discount there. So why not whack some engine power in there as well? Make the car a little bit quicker. And don't need to worry about anything else at this stage. So we'll head to qualifying then. Oh, it is already raining quite... Yeah, we're not going to be able to set any soft times. That is already significantly wet. Even the AI is struggling to drive the car at the moment. We need some intermediate tyres. So let's just poodle back to the pit lane. Time that puts me P6 after one run on the intermediate tyres. I don't know what is and isn't representative at the moment. I'm just over half a second off the current pole time. And we've got, what did I, 45.2. We've got about just under a second in hand on those around us. I might take the risk in that we think we might be through, although it is Singapore. I probably shouldn't take the risk. I can go out on the same tyre though, really. But we are going to have to need those. We are going to need to save those tyres for the race. Well, everyone's going out now for another run. I will go out on the same set, but if we don't need to complete the lap, I won't. So I'll go out, drive out, and if we can save the tyres, we will. Well, as you can tell from the minimap, there's not many people out on a lap right now at the end of the session. And certainly not enough to see us get knocked out. Anyway, there was even a Haas came into the pits, actually didn't even complete the flying lap. So we are P6 and we will stay P6 in qualifying here. And we will be through to Q2 and have saved a little bit of tyre wear in the process. But so's a lot of other people. So won't read too much into it so far. But pleased enough to be through Q1 at a comfortable enough pace and with minimal enough track time and tyre wear. So, wow, look at that. Lewis and Carlos Sainz both with exactly the same time. Any shock exits? No, not really. Everybody that you would expect to get through is through, and now it's Q2.
It looks like we're running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly.
Oh. That's intriguing. Could Q3 have soft tyres running it? Maybe. Depending on who got the better of the track conditions, we might see a couple of shock eliminations here. Perhaps even including myself. I think I went P10. I did. I'm through to Q3, but only ever so just. Mistake 3 corners from the end, losing the back end a little bit, and the times were falling, plummeting, and I cost myself probably half a tenth, and that half a tenth might have seen my teammate through in my place, but Lando Norris goes P1 again. Well, George Russell out actually in P12, and Fernando Alonso in P14. The two arguably surprised, well, certainly surprised in George Russell's case, eliminations from that set of qualifying. We will be dry, I'm sure, in Q3. Now we really take a ramp up in pace. 4 cars not going out: an Aston Martin, a McLaren, an Alpine, and a Red Bull. Unless they're coming out significantly very late in the session, they're not going again. 4 cars not going out at all. It's raining harder than it was, but we're on significantly fresher tyres. 8 tenths down on Max in P6 alone. So, yeah, that's going to be P10 for us in this session, I'm pretty sure. There's definitely more time than we found on that lap, by about half a second or so, but I'm still certainly P10, and probably by more than about half a second or so. It wasn't a great lap at all in Q3 for us, but the rain came, the rain stopped, and the rain came again, and we ended up how far off the pace? 1.5 seconds, 3 tenths behind Esteban Ocon in P9, but it's Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Piastri and Leclerc that are the front 4. McLaren working well in the wet on the street track. Very good job by Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri there. Now then, how long is the race going to remain dry for? Is it worth running soft tyres? Do we try mediums to last longer till the rain comes? When do we expect that rain to come? Well, judging by that pre-race, not for a while. So it may well be medium tyres at the beginning until the rain. Let's go and see. We always expect the rain to come pretty quickly, or at least significantly earlier than the forecast when you have it set to approximate. So whether the rain arrives before the end of a medium tyre set run, I don't know. We might end up having to run 2 sets of dry tyres, or we might contemplate starting on the hard, but that would probably be a bad decision. No penalties for anyone that we've noticed so far, so we start P10 and everyone starts where they qualified. Now, what is everyone else doing at the beginning of this race? I'm expecting a lot of medium runners. In fact, there are a lot of soft runners. A lot of soft runners. That's a surprise. We expect the rain to come earlier than it's currently scheduled, but probably not before the end of a soft set run. So that's going to be very intriguing. We'll take some fuel out. Definitely not going to need the full amount here, so we can take some fuel out, bearing in mind that it's going to be wet for a while. I'm gonna run medium. It doesn't matter really what strategy I select. I'm going to start on mediums. We'll try and stick with those on the softs, but it's going to be an intriguing one. If I ran softs from the beginning, my fear would be that my tyres would overheat. So that's why I'm not going to start on softs. We'll start on mediums and we'll try and take them to the rain if we can. If not, we'll go medium soft or maybe even medium. We're not really going to need these medium tyres again. So we'll wait and see what happens. But I'm pretty sure it's just mediums and see what happens with the weather. So the weather forecast is saying no rain expected for the time being. Meaning it's still probably a way out. So this medium set might work. This medium or medium soft to the rain as a strategy may genuinely work. 0.4 metres will do nicely. A lot around us on softs. But if we can stick with during the initial few laps, then the mediums will come into their own. And in the race strategy practice program, we had pretty good tyre wear as well. Ocon's come across to try and cover me. He can't. It's going to be tight at turn 1. But I'm going to then have the inside line for turn 3. And that's us up to P9 past Esteban Ocon. There's one position made. Now the case remains to be seen if we can make any others. Those on softs are going to be very fast at the opening stages of the race. But as we get further and further through the stint, they are going to get slower and slower. Verstappen and Hamilton having a bit of a good battle here, meaning that the front 5 are getting away. But the longer they battle, the slower they go, the more they aren't able to utilise their soft tyre advantage, and the better it is for me. So long may they battle. I think a few of the front, oh, it's McLaren at the front. I think a few of the front runners were on mediums, weren't they? Yeah. Carlos Sainz has been nabbed by Piastri and then Leclerc. So it's me and Leclerc in the front 3, and then Ricciardo and Magnussen, who we can basically disregard, really. So me, Leclerc, and the front 3 on the mediums, and then we just wait and see how long the softs last for everyone. We are significantly underfueled though, but that's because we're expecting a lot of weather, and we can save fuel in the rain. That's the plan. At 0.99 laps worth of underfueling at the moment. We'll see what that looks like in a couple of laps' time. But I'm gonna have to start using my battery and concentrating, try and close those gaps in front so we don't get nabbed by all the soft runners. Russell up to P11 so far.
Rate, we won't have enough to reach the end of the race. You need to start lifting off the throttle earlier in corners. Let the car slow down naturally before you start braking, and that'll help us conserve the fuel you have left.
No, I don't need to do that because we'll be able to save fuel in the rain, so I'm not going to bother lifting and coasting. Hopefully the rain comes after those soft runners have been forced into a pit stop, or at a point where those soft runners' tyres are so worn that they end up losing too much pace compared to our mediums. The minute they are definitely getting considerably down the road in front. I am the front of the second train at the moment, but that train is going to stay where it is for now, because with battery I'm quite comfortably able to manage to Ocon behind right now. And if we,
seconds is the gap between you and the next car.
if we had started on softs, I'm pretty sure my tyres would have overheated, so the mediums was really our only option in terms of a starting tyre. We just have to do what we can while we can. There are two trains at the minute. There's the Oscar Piastri train and there's the me train. But Esteban hasn't really threatened at all from behind. If it was Russell that was P10, then we probably would have come under more pressure, but having Esteban Ocon between me and the Mercedes is definitely helping us stay where we are and be quite comfortable in doing that as well. It's a good start to the Grand Prix. Just got to keep it going. Rain is coming probably before lap 20, I would imagine.
We think we might see some rain, ETA about 15 minutes.
That's further out than they last said. I don't think they know when this rain is coming, do you? They initially said 10 to 15 minutes. Then they said just over 10. Now they're saying about 15. When it rains here, it does tend to get quite wet quite quickly. So I'll set softs as my next set, in case we do need to box before the rain. But if we do box before the rain, it won't be for too much longer before the rain actually hits. Still the Piastri train and the me train. Although the me train is certainly losing some carriages at the back end of it now. DRS broken to Esteban Ocon behind. My rear tyres are starting to be better in the traction zones. We've gotten to 21% on our rears. They're definitely over 25% on theirs now.
Okay, gap ahead is 6.3 seconds.
Now's where the tyres need to come back to our favour, and we can extend the gap behind and hopefully start to close in front. I'm going to have to drive well to do so, so it's going to be another case of shut up and drive, I think. Yellow flag out front. Not sure what for. Lando Norris. Lando's retiring. Or has he got a puncture maybe and he's in the pits? I'm not sure which at the moment. I think he's just retiring on track. Let's have a look. Lando Norris, from the lead of the Grand Prix, is retiring. He had a massive lead, Lando. That's gutting for him. Absolutely devastating for him. Pace advantage, medium to soft, hasn't been anywhere near as much as I thought it would. And now those behind are back with me again. And the gaps in front continue to grow. So at the moment, unless we've got a pace advantage in the wet, or something drastic happens tactically, I don't know if we're going to be finishing any higher than P8 today. Oh, they're in. A couple are in front, and Ocon behind, so the soft runners are pitting just as the rain starts to fall. That might be a mistake. Valtteri's in the pits as well, frustratingly. Now we just wait and see how long it takes for the track to get wet enough to need intermediate tyres. Is it going to be a quick change to wet weather, or is it going to be a slow and gradual change to wet weather? We're up to P6 at the moment. Now I'm expecting George behind me to pit as well. And also Stroll and Perez in front. I think one of the Ferraris is in as well. They were all on medium tyres actually. So even the Ferrari on mediums is pitting. Russell is pitting behind me as well.
Okay, be mindful of the conditions. The track's getting wetter. Recommend you stay out for now, though. We'll be much slower if we move on to inters this early.
So we're up to third at the moment. Leclerc has gone medium.
This lap, push hard on the in-lap.
17 seconds to those in front. But let's be honest, we're still in an Alfa Romeo. We're nowhere near the pace of those in front. Leclerc and Verstappen behind will close like crazy. Now I'm in a position where I need to save battery whilst trying to make sure I keep myself as far down the road as possible. And we're praying now for the rain to hit very, very hard and heavy indeed, which at the moment it's not doing.
Light rain will stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay.
They've closed by over a second behind as well already with those new tyres. My mediums are now 30% on the rear. Rain is slowly getting heavier, but it is slowly. And the front two are in. So for the first time, I think maybe even this season, we lead a Grand Prix. We are P1 right now. Not for long, but we are P1. The undercut has worked wonders for Verstappen. He's gone from 4th or 5th with Lando's retirement and the undercut pit stop to effectively a net first. Starting to get some raindrops on the screen now. Says to me that we're not far away from the rain getting heavier, but it's taking its time, and they've halved the gap to me already behind. I need the rain to fall much heavier in the next lap and a half at the latest, and I don't think it's going to. We're going to be doing some defending again soon. Now I'm going to have to use my battery to defend. Now we try and cause another train. Max has driven into me again. And has broken his front wing in doing so. Well done, Mr. Verstappen. That was very clever of you, wasn't it? Max just ruined his own race. Carlos Sainz is going for it. No, it's Charles Leclerc, in fact, that's going for it. Got the inside line, though. I'm going to go wide. Now Carlos Sainz is up to P2. Trying to make this the widest Alfa Romeo you've ever seen in your life. So far it's working. Need this rain to get heavier though, I'll tell you that much. Now Carlos Sainz has done exactly what Max Verstappen did. Driven into me at that hairpin. He's ruined his race as well. Sainz pits for another front wing. I'm just braking for the hairpin. Like, if they're gonna drive into the back of me, then that's on them. I'm braking where I have to stop the car. Leclerc's got a run on me here. We're down to P2. I know though, as soon as I make the decision to stop for another set of dry tyres, that's when the rain will get heavier. Trying to force Checo wide here a little bit, get a bit rude, but we'll keep the place.
I know these conditions are tough, but bear with it. I don't think the track's ready for intermediates yet.
We're handing Charles Leclerc an easy race victory here, just by defending for our lives. Charles is going to disappear down the road.
Keep pushing. We need to reduce the 5-second gap to the car ahead.
Now Lewis is up to P3. My tyres are really starting to tell me they've had more than enough now. It's getting to the point where I might be forced into another dry set. Lewis barged his way past, contact made to the front.
That's us down a place.
Thankfully I think it was wheel to wheel rather than wheel to wing. As soon as I pit for a set of dry tyres, you know the rain is going to get heavier though, don't you? The fact that this rain has stayed like this is baffling. They said it was going to get very heavy very quick, and it just hasn't. And as a result, it's very much gone against us. You can see on the minimap just how far back Carlos Sainz is and Max Verstappen after they made their pit stops for running into the back of me. So if I stop now, that's us admitting race over. I just need to keep my elbows out for as long as possible. There you go. Just saw the visual change, some raindrops starting to bounce off the road surface in front of us. We might be on Inters soon.
Okay, we'll fit Inters on your next stop.
We're getting close. We're getting close to the changeover. It's Lance Stroll going for it. Failing to get it done. Slant stroll through. Not there, Oscar. It's not happening, mate. Leclerc is loving life right now. If Charles Leclerc doesn't win this race, he's never thrown one away more so than he may well do today. Just can't get the power down. Here goes Piastri.
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
Nearly 50% wear on the rears now. Checo going for it. And failing. Oi, oi, oi.
Stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 3.2 seconds.
They're trying to mug me here. Checo through. Lewis George looking to have a go. The rain has been with us for about 10 laps now, and it just hasn't rained hard enough to go to wet tyres or intermediate tyres. I am really surprised. Puddles starting to form, as you can see, but still, no one's contemplating going to inters. Really, really strange that the rain has been this heavy for this long, and still it's dry weather running. We'll ask about the crossover now.
Okay, the forecast suggests this rain's going to keep getting stronger for at least the next 15 minutes. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Still reckon dry's the best tyre, but the rain's only going to get stronger and puddles are starting to form. I might take the risk. Do I? I'm pulling the plug. We're pulling the plug.
Leaving the car behind by 2.9 seconds.
Let's see. Why not? We've taken a risk already. Let's take another one. So gaps are coming down, but they're on wearing tyres. Sainz in the box. But what for? Looks like another set of dry tyres. Sainz in the box for another set of softs. Sainz has pit for another front wing. So picked up damage by running into the back of me on lap 20, and then has pit on 29 for another front wing after running into the back of someone else. Where is 3% right now? Temps are in the window, but they are getting slightly warm. Leclerc goes round again. Leclerc in. Leclerc in. They're pitting, but what for? Inters or dries? Inters. Leclerc and Hamilton go to intermediates. The rain is supposedly only going to get heavier, which we agree, or with which we agree. Now we find out how many places we're able to make up.
Valtteri's in the pits.
I can't remember who was the last car behind us before we pit. But everyone's going to inters. That's Sergio Perez in P5. That's us in P5. We were P7 before the pit stops, so we've gained a couple of positions. DRS disabled. There you go.
DRS is now disabled.
But now we're on, obviously, significantly more worn intermediates than they are. We know anyway the Alfa Romeo isn't as fast as the Red Bulls or the Mercedes, etc. Back end getting a little bit unhappy with me, unsettled for touching the curb. No, Checo.
Strong, but be aware, these tyres need to go the distance.
Checo's there. Held him off though. But I don't know how many more stops there might be left in this race. They might be expecting to take this intermediate set to the end. We don't know what the weather's going to do. We know it's going to get heavier. We know the rain's going to get heavier, but we don't know if it's then going to ease off or what. We should have another fresh set of inters. We do. we don't know is if the team want me to stop again. No, the team reckon we should stay out for the rest of the race. That's not going to be a viable option. So Checo did exactly what Verstappen and Sainz did and drove into the back of me, but because of the nature of the race, the weather, etc., he's not pitting for a new wing. So he's slowing George up and we're gaining time now. You're right, my front wing has got damage.
Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look.
Wants full wets. It wants full wets. It's recommending full wets. The team are saying full wet tyres on lap 43. We will also change our front wing at the same time, because we're carrying some front wing damage at the moment that is definitely affecting the drive of the car. The Mercedes is in. Charles Leclerc did not pit. And we will lose positions because we're changing that front wing as well. Here we go. Piastri and Stroll onto full wets. We're going to do the same. We will lose positions because of the wing change, but it's what we need to do. It's unavoidable, really. Held for a bit. George is in front of us now, as is Tsunoda and Ocon as well. We've lost, wow, loads of positions. We were running P7, we're now running P12. Sorry, we were running P5, we're now running P12. We've lost 7 positions just from having our front wing changed. Well, that's a bit gutting, isn't it? Can we get back into the points? I anticipate us going back to Intus before the end of the race. Like you say, still plenty of time to make back the positions if we can. I cannot get the car stopped into this right-hander every lap. There were a handful that did a lap more to avoid the double stack, so we might make some positions back again. But not if we're going to be spinning our tyres up like that. 3 cars coming out of the pits. Back up to P9. So ultimately then, the wing change only cost us 4 positions, not 7. We are back in the points. Time to try and get Tsunoda. I think we're all in a Perez train again. Checo with his damaged front wing. Virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
What's the VSC for? Lando's still the only retiree. Oh, I got a bit hasty on the accelerator there. I got a run on Yuki. He's gone defensive. I'll try and get it stopped and hang it around the outside. He's locked up, forced me wide. But he forced me off, so I'm going to take the position. I was going to make that corner until he pushed me off.
Nice move. Keep going.
We're P8. Checo's not changed his front wing when I did. And Checo is now the cork in the bottle. Christ, that was close. Yellow flag. Yellow flag in front. Yellow flag behind. Oh, God. What's happened behind?
Okay, we've got a
red flag. Red flag. Someone's binned it behind and blocked the circuit, I think. A red flag in Singapore. Well, that was unexpected. Didn't think that was going to come at all. I didn't even have the chance to flash back and see what happened.
Chance to change our strategy for the rest of the Grand Prix if we want to.
So the race is suspended on lap 47. The race will restart on lap 48 from a standing start, and we are a full wet standing start. Intus is significantly slower. It's a full wet, brand new, fresh set of wet tyres. Standing start from P8. Now, Checo will have been able to change his front wing, annoyingly. We've got a decent run on George. I might try and hang it around the outside of George Russell here. And it's getting bumpy in front as well. Yellow flag's behind again. Had to get out of the way again with P7. I think someone in front's got damage again. I'm going to try and sneak up the inside of Ocon here. That's P6. I wonder, surely Perez would have changed it. Safety car!
Safety car is out. Safety car is out. We need to form up at...
Wait, what? Don't... I thought Ocon just overtook me under a safety car.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative.
What's the safety... I've no idea what the safety car's out from. I managed to avoid the chaos at the beginning. We just hung it wide. George had a bad start. We were able to hang it wide. I think that there's a Williams at the back there. Maybe he spun? Not sure. We just dodged everything that was happening around us. And were able to come through clean. Definitely was a... I threw it up the inside of Ocon. I don't know whether Perez has still got damage or not. There's no way to tell if he's changed his wing, I don't think. Wow, you are Tavin. Thank you very much for the A... Oh, it's gone back to... Oh, Perez has changed his front wing. Perez and Piastri did change front wings. Thank you for the follow and the sub, Tavin. Appreciate it, dude. So Sargent's changed his front wing as well. Dry, wet, red flag, safety car. In that order. A Ferrari's in the pits as well. Is that Sainz? Oh, that's a hell of a scroll. Don't know. One of the Ferraris in the pit. Well, we were to tell from the order. Yeah, Carlos Sainz is in the pits as well. Presumably changing another front wing and going to another set of wet tyres. Which I don't think, to be fair, he should have. Don't you only get 2 sets of wet tyres on any given race day? So he must be going back to his other set of wet tyres. Safety car should be in this lap. It's Leclerc from Stroll. Perez, Piastri, Hamilton, Chesnoid. Again, I've got a car between me and George Russell. It's Ocon this time. P6 currently. If we finish P6, it's a great result. If we're able to make any more positions, then it's even better. Get ready to go racing, gents. Leclerc is going. Leclerc is gone. We are green flag racing once more on lap 52 of 62. 11 laps to go.
0.3 seconds.
There should, hopefully, be no more stoppages or interruptions from here. Everyone's got fresh bodywork, fresh tyres. It's pedal to the metal. Who's got the balls to make the overtakes in these terrible conditions? Russell passed Ocon behind already. That didn't take long. That's bad news for me. Safety car again! What for this time? Another... Is this... I'm not sure what for. Xbox, thank you for the raid of 210. Welcome in, guys. What was everybody playing on Xbox today? Who and what was being played? You join us at a crazy Singapore Grand Prix that started dry, went wet, then there was a red flag, then a safety car, now another safety car. We've no idea what either safety car was for. But at the moment we're 6th in an Alfa Romeo, which, if you know Formula 1, isn't bad doing whatsoever. We've got 10 laps to go once we cross the line.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low, and we're going to...
But we don't know how many safety cars are going to get between now and the end of the race. It might be a bug. It might not be a bug. We've absolutely no idea. Going to pick up the safety car around turn 1. And we'll trundle around for another lap. And then it will be... No, the Ferrari's in again. Sainz. Sainz is pitting again. This is Sainz's 5th or 6th pit stop. He keeps getting himself damaged and having to continually stop to try and get a new front wing.
The pace a touch, please. We need to close to within 10 car lengths of the car ahead.
There is the saying, isn't there, in Formula One, that safety cars breed safety cars, and that is what's happening.
We need to stay within 10 car lengths of the next car.
Every time there's a safety car restart, someone is causing damage to someone else, and at the moment it seems to be Carlos Sainz every time. Leclerc has gone again, and we're off on lap 55 now. 8 laps to go.
Behind is 7.6 seconds.
Again, can we make it from P6 any further up, or will we fall further behind? Will we get more bloody safety cars? Who knows? Find out in the next 15 minutes.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5.5 seconds.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Mark. Not bothered about the gap in front. It's that gap behind that is occupying my mind at the moment. After so much action in this Grand Prix, the final few laps in the rain after the second safety car have been pretty non-eventful. Those in front just turned out to be too quick for us, unfortunately, but that is the nature of it when we are in the car that we're in. But we haven't really been threatened by Russell behind. He's sat there, he's maybe gotten to within a couple of tenths, but he's never actually made a move. So we've been relatively comfortable in P6. It will be our 3rd best result of the season, albeit of 4 races, because we finished 4th twice. But we finished 4th, 5th, and we will now have finished 6th at the end of this Grand Prix as well. Charles Leclerc takes the checkered flag. Lance Stroll, who started in the teens after being knocked out in Q2, takes P2, and then I think it was Sergio Perez that takes P3. Unbelievable Grand Prix here at Singapore, without shadow of a doubt. One of the longest 2 or 3 races of my entire career. That's YouTubing career, not just Formula One career, but well done, Charles, for taking the result. I'm sure driver of the day was Lance Stroll. Where did he start in the end? Lance Stroll started... Oh, 8th, actually. That's weird. I could have sworn he started further back than that. Alonso's picked up a time penalty of 5 seconds. Not sure what that was for. That race was 1 hour 20 minutes, basically. 138 minutes that took. That is longer than is allowed in real life Formula One. 138 minutes to do the Singapore Grand Prix. If you haven't dropped the video a like, please do. That took a lot of effort. I'd appreciate it very much. 2 hours, 20 minutes for a Grand Prix is mad. 1 red flag, 2 safety car. Crazy. 62 laps around Singapore. We've got the Japanese Grand Prix coming up next. I do love it at Suzuka. I'm not necessarily quick at Suzuka. Arrival of Max or Lewis? Yeah, okay. I think the Red Bull is faster than the Mercedes right now, so we'll select Lewis as my rival, but geez Louise. That's going to be tough. I don't think I'm going to win that rivalry. I think I made the only call I could make, basically. As we get, please pass, side pod profile passes, we'll skip and advance that. So as we head towards the next Grand Prix, the standings are as you see them there. I'm on 57 points now. We as Alfa Romeo are solidified in 6th place in the Constructors. I'm above Lance Stroll, I'm above Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas in P13. Did he score points in that race, Bottas? Actually. No, P15 in the end for Valtteri there. That's unfortunate. Lance shoots up behind me with that P2. Got to be happy with that. Japan, Qatar, USA, Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, Abu Dhabi. Only 7 races to go in this first season before we inevitably move teams. We'll go to the race weekend in Japan and we'll see what happens with the weather there. has been known to bucket it down in Japan before as well, and it will be in different weather again. And for the second race in a row, I can't see the details of which. So at the moment, it's going to be mixed conditions in Japan, just as it was in Singapore. We improve. We're better than LP now. Haas closed the gap significantly. Mercedes level off, as do Aston Martin, Red Bull and Ferrari and McLaren all improve. Ferrari now supposedly the fastest car, but with Mercedes being right there, then it certainly proves that Lewis was the right rival to select over Max Verstappen. AlphaTauri have been on a great improvement run, haven't they, since Belgium? Nice to see them close the gap, and that has really squeezed the field. Quite close indeed. So we're as fast, nearly as fast as Mercedes now, apparently. We'll see what we can do in Japan, but that is all for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching, YouTube. I hope you've enjoyed. Do drop the video a like if you have. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on more. And join me on either of the streaming platforms. Twitch.tv/Chesnoid Gaming or Chesnoid Live here on YouTube. That's all for this YouTube video, though. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.